Hello, I am Gregory and welcome to Pensane. This channel is about fountain pens, ink, and paper. So if those things interest you, I hope you'll join us. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Today we're going to be talking about my pens in use just over the last few days. These pens here, we'll be taking a closer look at them, and we'll be doing a little writing sample, sped up for you because I'm slow. This is sort of my daily writing journal, commonplace book, pen and ink, recorder, a bunch of things rolled into one. So yeah, so let's take a look. This is sort of my commonplace book, if you will, where I record my pens and inks for the day, include the date, time, weather, a quote, and just my general thoughts on the pen and ink and the combo itself. And I throw in some stickers and stuff. I'll do that with this entry probably later. Sometimes I even come back days later and put some stickers just to kind of fill it out a little bit. But let's quickly go through these. So this is the Opus 88 Flow in gray, and this is hands down my favorite Opus 88 pen. It is beautiful. There's the nib. For those that aren't familiar with Opus 88s, they are eyedropper fill, and specifically it's the Japanese style of eyedropper, which includes a little valve, you might say. So much like a vacuum filler, you need to open this up to allow the ink to flow to the nib. And then if you're traveling or whatnot, or just going to leave it for a while, you can go ahead and tighten that back up, and it blocks the ink from going to the nib. So beautiful, beautiful pen. That was a broad nib, and the ink is a new one that I purchased from the Wet Pen, Matthew over at the Wet Pen. So that is Gasworks Park, and it's darker than I imagined it was going to be. In most of the writing, it looks black. But I'll get to my thoughts here since I wrote them. But let's go through what I do on the page basically. So this was on the 25th. These aren't necessarily every day, so I think in this case they are, though. Anyway, so this was on November 25th at 10:07 a.m. The current temperature was 68. The expected high was 78, and the expected low was 46. The quote is, "The thermometer of success is merely the jealousy of the malcontents." And that comes from Salvador Dali. I have some stickers there, and I love the size and feel of this pen, not to mention the look. Nib is near perfect. Ink is complex yet subtle. Performs better than Madrona, which is another one. I don't have that here though. Excellent combo. The pen gets a 10, the ink gets a 10, and the combo gets a 10. Yeah, so I love this. And also with eyedropper pens, they hold a lot of ink. Even potentially even more than like a piston filler. So, and this is a big pen, so that's a lot of ink in there. But I'm enjoying that ink. So, all right. So then on November 26th at 8 a.m., the temperature was 58 with an expected high of 81 and expected low of 51. So again, this is the TWSBI Diamond 580 ALR in nickel with a medium nib. Very nice. And for the TWSBI Diamond 580s, there are the AL and the ALR. So the ALR refers to the little ribbing that adds some texture to the grip section. So that was a must for me. And this is the nickel colorway, so it's subtle. It's, yeah, just a nice metallic look. And yeah, that's the medium nib there. Now I will say, well, actually, I'll get to that when I read this down here. And this is loaded with Octopus Fluids Aubergine. Yes, I love seeing that ink in there. One of the great benefits of TWSBI pens is being able to see the ink slosh around. All right, then our quote. "In 3 words, I can sum up everything I've learned about life. It goes on." And that's Robert Frost. So I've always been a little disappointed with the nib on this pen compared to the Eco, so I finally did some smoothing on it. Wow, it's a brand new pen now. This ink is definitely a favorite. Yeah, so I was actually shocked at how well I smoothed this nib. It just needed just a little bit of smoothing, because I'm used to the Ecos where they're ready to go out of the box. You don't have to do anything to them, in my experience. And I have maybe 12 of them. But these higher end TWSBIs, they always need a little work on the nibs. It's really bizarre. Yeah, but once I smooth this, wow, this is right up there with the Ecos. So, and it's a very nice looking pen. Yeah, so the pen, now that I smooth the nib, gets a 9. The ink is a 10. I love that ink. And I had to purchase it from Germany. So, and then the combo gets a 9.5. All right, then yesterday's pen. So that was November 27. And I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I sure did. And we're having our 3rd Thanksgiving celebration on Sunday. So yeah, so November 27, it was 7:14 a.m. I don't know what happened to my writing there. It was 7:14 a.m. The temperature was 52 degrees with an expected high of 78 and an expected low of 51. And, oh, I forgot to mention, there's a little symbol. It was cloudy here. It was sunny here and sunny here. Yeah, so this is the TWSBI Eco in concrete. It's nice to have the occasional subtle color for a pen. And you don't get much more subtle than this, so it's just a nice kind of lightish gray. So again, this is the TWSBI Eco in concrete, and it does have a stub nib. All right, and that is loaded with diamine and Colt pens, Sloth. So yeah, that's one of the Colt pens exclusive inks, one of the collaborations, if you will. And our quote for that day is, "The great advantage about telling the truth is that nobody ever believes it." And that's one of my favorite mystery writers, Dorothy L. Sayers. So here I say, of course, I love my Eco pens, and this is a solid stub nib, but TWSBI stub nibs are not where they shine. I like this ink a lot. It's a blue-black with purple sheen. Doesn't love this paper. Yeah, I was having issues where it was skipping or putting extremely thin lines, like you can see on the O there. I had to rewrite some down here, and it just was not performing well. Yeah, so this pen might need to be cleaned out, or at least the nib cleaned a little bit, maybe. Yeah. So the pen gets an 8. Ordinarily, an Eco would be a 10 for me. And the ink gets an 8, partly because I was, kind of assuming that the ink was playing a role in the issues with the pen, because I haven't had those issues with this pen before. And that makes the combo an 8. All right, and then today's, which you got to see the writing of, we have the TWSBI Eco in lilac. Very nice color. That's an extra fine nib. And that is loaded with Lamy Dark Lilac. Oh, and before I get to it, or before I forget it, so you saw it was just 12:15 when I was writing this on November 28th, Black Friday. And yes, I did go out for a little bit this morning to do some shopping. The current temperature is 73, expected high of 74, and an expected low of 48. And the quote for today is a very, very good one. I love this quote so much. And really, it should be not only my mantra, but it should be everybody's mantra. I am grateful for what I am and have. My thanksgiving is perpetual. Isn't that powerful? That's just, wow. Wow, that's amazing. All right, and then just my thoughts there. This pen astounds me every time I use it. I never thought an EF nib could be so smooth and enjoyable. Not my go-to though. The ink is definitely a favorite. Yeah, as good as this is for an extra fine nib, I don't get nearly as much enjoyment, and sometimes no enjoyment, out of an extra fine nib. This one is one of the best I've ever used. So it's pretty darn good. But the lines are so thin. Now with this ink, I can easily see the sheen. I don't know if you can make it out, but I'll bring the page closer and kind of tilt it, and hopefully we can catch some of that in a moment. But Dark Lilac has tons of sheen. Like, some of the letters from my view look just pure green. Yeah. So the pen gets a 9, and only because, you know, EF is not my favorite nib size. The ink is a 10. I love that ink. I would love to see that ink out of like a stub nib. That would be amazing. And the combo gets a 9.5. Yeah. All right, there you go. And let's do a little face-to-face talk. How about that? All right, so there you go. I hope you enjoyed that. And if content like this interests you, I hope you'll subscribe and join us. And I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. What was your favorite pen? What was your favorite ink? Do you like sheening inks? We had a couple big sheeners. And yeah, do you have cats? I'd love to hear from you down in the comments. One thing I'm going to start doing is sharing pen pal letters on here. So if that interests you, you can write to me at Gregory Short, P.O. Box 4292, Riverside, California 92514, and I'll put that down in the description as well. But yeah, I hope you'll write to me and I'll share it on the channel. All right, thank you so much for watching. It's good to be back, and I will see you next time.